Hello, I'm Lauren Green for FoxNews.com. The death of Saudi King Abdullah has prompted a new era of uncertainty for U.S. officials to negotiate amid the spreading influence of Iran and the ongoing battle with ISIS. The Saudi royal's death comes just days after the collapse of the U.S.-supported government in Yemen. And joining us now to discuss these developments is Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter, author, and Fox News contributor, Judy Miller. Welcome, Judy.
Hi, Lauren.
Well, the first thing is the impact of King Abdullah's death. You know, what was the U.S.'s relationship with him, and what will it be now?
Well, this was the most unusual marriage, and it will remain so. At least that's the view of most of the people who look at U.S.-Saudi relations. King Salman, who is now a spring chicken at age 79, is in very ill health and is said to be suffering from some dementia. But the Saudis have taken the precaution of appointing a crown prince and a deputy crown prince before that. So most people think that it's going to be business as usual with Saudi Arabia. The Saudis have been extremely careful about pursuing their interests, which sometimes create tensions with the United States. But in terms of U.S.-Saudi relations, I don't see a great change, and I don't see a great change in oil pricing policy, which is the other most important issue on American minds right now. As far as Yemen is concerned, I mean, there we have a real mess, and it's just astonishing to think of what the president said about, you know, he didn't repeat the tide of war being receding, but he did say that ISIS was retreating and that the Americans, our coalition was advancing, and that's certainly, there's no evidence of that in Yemen. President Hadi has resigned, the government has resigned, there's utter chaos, no one knows what's going to happen from one minute to the next, but there is no doubt that the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels are now in control of a large part of that country. That's clearly not good news for us as well, and it's certainly no indication of what the president claimed, which is a success in Yemen for his policy.
Well, you know, one of the boots on the ground quote from a Yemeni writer, Faria al-Muslimi, he said, "The coming hours will be decisive for Yemen for decades to come. Either they will usher in a new path, new openings, or we say our prayer, our death prayers." That sounds pretty scary. What does that mean?
Well, I think that what most people fear there is just an all-out knockdown, drag-out civil war, a really bloody conflict in Sana'a, in the capital. I have worked there for years, and I have to tell you that even in the best of times, it was a pretty scary place in which everyone was armed, everyone carried weapons, and everyone was kind of chewing cot. So it was a kind of crazy place to be. And now when you throw into that mixture ISIS and the Houthis and a government which was clearly not delivering on the needs of the people, because Yemen is one of the poorest countries in the Middle East without oil, it's going to be a real mess, and it could be a tremendous breeding ground for more Islamic jihadis.
You know, Yemen is right to the south of Saudi Arabia, and President Obama said at the death of King Abdullah, this relationship as a force for stability and security in the Middle East and beyond. Can we still count on that when you've got this disruption in Yemen and other areas in the Middle East?
Look, I think the Middle East is going to be unstable for decades. I mean, after the Arab Spring and those revolutions, you are going to have a real struggle for power in almost every single country. And it's going to be very, very difficult for the United States to navigate. But it's not going to be navigable at all if we close our eyes and say things are going well and we're doing fine, when in fact the countries upon which we depend are either in great transition or in turmoil.
That's very interesting, and of course we'll be talking about this more and more as the news develops. Thanks so much, Judy.
Thank you, Lauren.
And for the latest on what's happening in the Middle East, go to FoxNews.com, and thanks for watching.